y'all, how are y'all doing? Thank you for being here with me today. It's your girl Stolen's Elemental Spirits, here to keep it a buck a bando. If you are having spiritual blockages and you want to know how do these spiritual blockages form, how do you clear your energy, okay, and to clear the abundance blocks, if you need to know how you have unfinished business, stay tuned. We're about to get all into this so that you can get a closer spiritual connection, okay? So let me go ahead and call my ancestors, my Calvary, forward with their chain link of protection that surrounds me. Clear and align my chakras in order for me to get this message. Any and everything that is not aligned, please make them fall down immediately. For I'm here to heal, grow, know, reach, teach, and become my highest self. I just wanted to stop by and to share a little bit of information with my collective, okay? Let me go ahead and get down into this because I'm not going to be on here very long. But it says a spiritual blockage could be that it's a karmic spiritual block, okay? Some blockages are even passed down from your parents. Others could be put there by angels as a form of guidance. How do spiritual blockages form? A spiritual block is a source of negativity, one that often begins in the mind. Negative blocks tend to begin with one simple negative thought. Once this thought has been established, you begin to see the world through a negative lens. Difficult types of spiritual blockages can arise in different situations. Number one being fear, and focusing on that fear leads to worry and anxiety and negativity. Two, being dishonest, okay, about the fear. Okay, being dishonest either with yourself or others. Three, hiding your gifts or denying their existence like you do not have a gift. Everybody has gifts. Confirmation on my computer. Okay, number four, returning to bad habits or negative belief systems that no longer serve you. Okay, number five, ignoring your heart's desire, life goals, or soul mission. Okay, these form spiritual blockages. Okay, how do you clear your energy? Okay, clearing abundance blocks. And one thing to bear in mind while carrying out this process is that your mind is your enemy. Confirmation again over my computer, okay? Okay? And this is due to a lot, okay? Many people find that even once they remove blocks, they still feel like their energy is getting clogged. This is entirely psychological. Find out for yourself. But it's best to prepare your expectations around this potential outcome. The element is something that fades in time, but if you don't feel like your spiritual blockage was a success, then use meditation, practice, it's called pranay, pranayama exercises. That's breathing techniques, okay, breathing exercises. Number two in particular are effective is it's a breathing shining, or it's like a breathing technique, and it's called Kapala. I'm having a hard time pronouncing it. Kabbalah Bata. Okay, breathing, aka shining breath. Okay, or Bastika, aka the bellow breath. Smile often as well as laugh. Trick the brain and laugh. Avoid complaining. Only talk about the positives. Don't gossip about other people. Relax and ask your guardian angels, okay? 5 ways that you might be blocking God's blessings. Not being a blessing, not forgiving, discontentment through all storms, remain calm and content. Unconfessed sins, grace, and truth, okay? So these are the 5 ways that you might be blocking God's blessings if you're not being true to thyself, okay, during this period of time of grace and truth, to confess your sins, to be content through the storms of life, remain calm and content, forgive others, and be a blessing, be the blessing towards another energy, okay? Stop comparing yourself to others. Compare yourself to your ideals more often. Make sure the ideals are realistic. Give yourself room to fail. Okay, I wrote this down. Okay, I was led to this, and I was like, okay, Spirit, Spirit said, write all of it in its entirety. I said, okay, all right. Don't focus on what others have. Learn to appreciate what's going on a moment by moment, okay? The frequencies that you need to listen to for tunings, I know everybody is probably hit to these, and those that are not and that are not familiar, or is taking their sweet time and to tune it into these frequencies, you are definitely missing out on getting in alignment for from God's blessings that he has for you, okay? 174 is for the pain and stress. 285, tissues and organs. 396, fear and guilt, okay? So I always tell people 396 is the best way. Fear and guilt and pain and stress is always, the number 2 that I started out with, okay? And then there's 417 for change, 528 for DNA repair, 689 that reconnects relationships, okay? 741 that finds solutions and self-expression with this frequency, and 852 is with spiritual, okay? Now, to know if you have unfinished business. Now, I know that I'm going pretty fast through this, okay? But I do have a ebook coming out stating all the things that I have written down, went through, and seen progression in those areas. And it could be some steps that you could take a look at and you might need to heed to and might even apply in your day-to-day life. Okay, all great minds do think alike into getting yourself connected with spirit better. Okay, but how to know if you're having you have unfinished business, whether it is out where everyone can see it for the looking or buried under layers of an efficient and successful lifestyle. The unfinished business of your inner self continues to make its mark on you until you intentionally choose to see it rooted out. This is always a painful process. If you ignore it, it will terrorize you. If you face it, it will fight you to the death. But it must be done, or the unfinished business of your life will do what you secretly fear. Bring destruction into your world, and even worse, rob you of becoming the person you were created to be by God. First, affirm God's purpose for your life. God is in the process of conforming you into the image of his son Jesus, Romans 8:29. So you are not just traveling to the plateau of being good enough, but you are on a journey to be changed into his likeness. Second, affirm that God is using all that happened to you as part of this process, even the bad stuff. Romans 8:28. This is not just the tragedies and triumphs in your current life, but includes all that has happened to you since the day you were born, even the parts you do not want to remember. Third, affirm that God is love and that nothing hidden in your life puts him off or will keep him from completing his purpose for your life. Ephesians 3:17 through 19. Fourth, affirm that God puts you into a faith community. For this very reason, Galatians 6:1 through 2, you will need to find others to join with you in this pursuit, because secrecy, this is unfinished business. Secrecy gives power to the enemy and lies. The power of subconscious programs. Okay, our subconscious mind constantly monitors and records our thoughts, words, and experiences. Once you give the subconscious mind a message, it never lets go of the memory until you let go of the memory, until you deliberately tell it to release it, much like a computer. The subconscious mind is like a computer bank filled with experiences and ideas from past and present lives. The subconscious mind of an individual is the primary source of information in accessing past lives experienced by each soul. There are many times we have asked ourselves certain questions. What is wrong with me? Why can't I do what I want to do? Why can't I succeed? Why nothing ever seems to work for me? What makes me act like that? Why isn't my hard work paying off? Why aren't my relationships working? Will I ever be happy? The answers to these questions lie in the depth of the subconscious mind. Every experience of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, thought, and feeling is recorded in the subconscious mind. Okay? Past lives, present problems. It is important to remember that it is not what happens to you in any life that creates negative patterns. I'm getting confirmation after confirmation. It is the discordant or negative energy you attach to the event that creates the negative programming or patterns in this life. This accumulation of emotional energy we carry in our subconscious from lifetime to lifetime forms our beliefs, perceptions, and judgments in the present life, create deep and bitter scars in the energy of the soul that carry over from lifetime to lifetime and create patterns of suffering in subsequent lifetimes. Did you get what it's saying about this past life, present problems? And this is why a lot of us might dip down from our past life decks. Okay? Some of this energy has been carried over from past life to past life. Okay? Many people know that things do not seem to work out in a positive way for them, but few realize that there may be deep-seated beliefs, patterns, and programs held in the subconscious mind from other lives that are blocking their greater good. You may want prosperity, but deep down may not feel worthy of success. Couples want rewarding relationships, but continue to attract relationships that are in conflict. Many individuals want better health, but do not know how to achieve it. The reasons for these blocks often come from the subconscious mind and the energy of the soul and how it all works in. Okay? Healing your past lives with spiritual response therapy, or SRT. Okay? I'm giving you this knowledge so that you can apply it. Okay? Because the power always lies in your hand. Okay? It does not lie in the hand of others, of which we do so freely give the power over to someone else who does not value themselves. Okay? So, look, as a spiritual being, you already possess the two qualities you need to heal deeply: connection to spirit and your own intuition. So your deep connection to spirit and your intuition is the two qualities that you need to heal. That's it. That's it, collective. Okay? While we are always receiving guidance from spiritual realms, we are not always aware of it. SRT, or spiritual response therapy. This is what spirit be talking about when it comes to therapy and you dipping down into that. Okay, SRT is a meticulous method that researches the subconscious mind and soul records to discover and release the discordant energies, limiting programs, and hidden blocks to health, relationships, happiness, prosperity, and spiritual growth. Using a pendulum, a set of charts, and working with one's spiritual comedies, the SRT practitioner will research past life experiences and identify negative programs affecting the client. Once programs are identified, discordant energies associated with these negative programs are researched and cleared. Then the practitioner will reprogram the subconscious mind with positive messages to bring about positive and lasting change. This is what the practitioner is supposed to be doing. These are the spiritual doctors at hand. Okay, but sometimes you have to be your own practitioner. You have to be your own spiritual response therapy, okay, to your own spiritual needs, okay? And I do believe this is what Spirit is saying. Sometimes conscious mind work may be necessary to release the limiting programming from the past. Practitioner may use tools like affirmations, clearing and releasing statements, meditations, and other clearing processes to facilitate greater transformation. So this is why we're all in place. to help people transition better and transform in a better light instead of resisting the transformation. The insight is supposed to help you transition and transform in a way of where it is not hard for you to do. Okay, you see it as a blessing, you see it as a gift. SRT provides an exciting, powerful, virtually painless, I just said that, virtually painless and accurate way of changing the landscape of our inner and outer lives. Spiritual reconstructing. Healing with SRT, and excuse me if you hear my son in the background, he's playing that game. Okay, you know, teenagers will be teenagers. Okay, healing with SRT. Okay, private soul clearing. Basic SRT. So, spiritual response therapy. You need basic training. This is what Spirit is saying. I've written this down as I was being guided to read some research and to put my own input from my experiences on in here, and this is what I've done. Okay. Look, oh wow. Knocks. 2 knocks on the door. It is a sign that your soulmate is around the corner in the spirit world. The number 2 is a sign of mutuality and love. 2 is a sign of marriage and twin flame. 3 knocks on the door lets you know it's time to align with your soul, with your spirit. This is how you are going to become spiritually sensitive to the signs of the universe. The number 3 is a sign of a union of the soul, spirit, and the body. 4 knocks on the door, meaning there is a sign of consistency. If you are going to achieve what you desire, then you have to be consistent. You should also remain consistent in expressing your talents, skills, and abilities. And the number 4 is also a sign of stability in your mind. The universe is telling you to be in charge of your emotion, choices, and actions. Don't allow peer pressure to influence your decisions. 5 knocks on the door, meaning is a sign that a change is coming into your life. And I'm going to leave it right there. Okay, I will come back. I have so much laying on this floor with folders, information that I've done over the past 6 years, and Spirit is definitely making me, like, leading me back to those folders to spread the news. Okay, that this too can be done by any individual. Okay, and I'm going to leave it right there. Please give me a happy thumbs up, hit the bell notification if you do love the content. Okay, and it helps my channel to grow. Much love to all, and until next time, I'm out. Bye, y'all.